My name is Congressman Mike Honda. I am proud to represent Silicon Valley in California. Here in Washington, D.C., I am the lead Democrat on the Subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, and Science Appropriations. This committee is in charge of funding science agencies like NASA, NOAA, and NSF. I am sorry that I cannot join you today in person. Well, can we start that over again? Hello, everyone. My name is Congressman Mike Honda. I am proud to represent Silicon Valley in California. Here in Washington, D.C., I am the lead Democrat on the Subcommittee on Commerce, Justice, and Science Appropriations. This committee is in charge of funding science agencies like NASA, NOAA, and NSF. I am sorry that I cannot join you in person. The House is in recess this week, and I am back in Silicon Valley, but I am thankful for the opportunity to speak with all of you. Oceans cover almost 3/4 of the Earth's surface, but we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the deep ocean. We have gradually undermined the health of our oceans through overfishing, dumping pollutants into them, and man-made climate change. In Japan, contaminated waters from the Fukushima nuclear reactor are overflowing into the ocean, but we don't know yet how the radiation will affect marine life. Around the globe, marine debris and pollution is accumulating in our oceans where it contaminates and kills aquatic life. The December climate talks in Paris were a huge step forward in our ability to limit global warming and lessen the effects of our changing climate. Sadly, the oceans were left out of the final agreement. This is a mistake because our growth, prosperity, and future depends on the resilience of the ocean, and not enough attention is being paid to this vital part of our lives. In my home state of California, the unprecedented warm waters along the West Coast fueled a toxic algal bloom that shut down multi-million-dollar fisheries for months and caused numerous sea lion strandings. We have long exploited the ocean both as a resource and as a dump site, even as it regulates our climate and shields us from the effects of burning fossil fuels. We need to stop taking it for granted. In 2003, the Pew Oceans Commission reported that our oceans are in serious trouble and we're on the verge of a silent collapse, threatening jobs, cultures, ecosystems, and marine life across the globe. Since then, thankfully, we have made some headway in trying to save this vital natural resource. In 2010, President Obama established our country's first national ocean policy, laying the groundwork for a coordinated effort at improving marine management, as well as protecting and restoring ocean health. But we've had to fight tooth and nail against the efforts to block funding for federal agencies to participate in marine planning efforts. I have introduced the Land-Based Marine Debris Reduction Act. My legislation is an effort to stop marine debris at its source and reduce marine pollution. Improving solid waste management on land is essential for keeping pollution out of our seas. Last fall, Congress passed the Illegal, Unreported, and Unregulated Fishing Enforcement Act. It was signed into law, and the President also announced plans for 2 new national marine sanctuaries. And most recently, I worked along with other ocean champions in Congress to create the National Ocean and Coastal Security Fund. It was signed into law as part of the 2016 Omnibus Spending Bill. The fund will support activities that protect, conserve, restore, and improve understanding of our nation's oceans, coasts, and Great Lakes. While we have made progress, more must be done. The discussion you are having here today is an important step towards changing the narrative on the oceans. Resiliency is important. It is how we prevent short-term hazards from turning into long-term, expansive disasters. There are 2 key actions Congress can take to support ocean resilience. First, we need to continue supporting the National Ocean Policy through legislation that encourages interagency coordination and careful marine planning. Today, there are many demands on the ocean. These demands require a management system that broadly addresses competing needs. It must also engage all stakeholders so we can develop sustainable plans that both protect the ocean and guide its use. Second, we must continue investing in earth and ocean science research. We need more scientists involved in communicating the results of that research to policymakers and the general public. Some of my colleagues in Congress believe that science is not a national priority. They are wrong. Ignoring science is short-sighted and damages our nation's ability to innovate, to understand our world, and to push the boundaries of human knowledge. To combat this, I have been speaking out publicly on the House floor about the importance of earth and ocean science research. I have held public briefings with NASA, NSF, NOAA, and USGS to highlight the impact of the sciences they fund. Last fall, I introduced a House resolution with 40 of my House colleagues to recognize Earth Science Week. Last December, I worked with Congressman Culberson, chairman of the Commerce, Justice, Science Subcommittee, on a section of the budget omnibus that our subcommittee is responsible for. I am happy that we were able to restore Earth and geoscience funding for NASA and remove the language capping NSF investments into geosciences. These fields are critically important as we face increased challenges from extreme weather and changing ecosystems. So what can you do to help? Congress needs to hear from the science community. Scientists should reach out to their congressmen and offer their expertise as a resource. Link a face and a story to your data. So often, the conversation becomes focused on a generalization of what scientists say or don't say. This oversimplification turns human curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge into a statistic. In addition to sharing what you know and how you know it, tell us why you know it. Why did you pursue this research? Why does it excite you? I ask all scientists to help teach the people around you. Help them understand that the oceans affect them every day, even if they live far away from the coast. We also need scientists to become engaged in the political process as advocates for science, not only as individual citizens, but also in partnerships with academic institutions and local industry leaders and decision makers. Many of the scientific advancements and technologies we now take for granted owe their beginnings to the federally supported science research programs. More than just creating jobs, basic research is the lifeblood of innovation. It feeds the talent and the idea pipeline of industry and sometimes can create whole new industries. Science advocacy reminds Congress why geoscience research matters, which is important because if you aren't at the table, you may be on the menu. Thank you all for your continued efforts to advocate for science and to educate policymakers and the public. Only through your advocacy and outreach can we change the narrative on the oceans and give them the attention and the support that they deserve. Together we can move to a future where growth and prosperity go hand in hand with the health of our pale blue dot, our one and only home. Thank you.